How's it going, everybody? 2020, what a fantastic start to the year already. Had a really good time celebrating New Year's yesterday with the family, and really happy to be talking to you all again. I had a few days off over Christmas and what have you. We had a lot of people visiting and a lot of things going on, so I decided to give the videos a little bit of a rest for now, and but I'm back on it, and looking forward to talking to you all more in 2020 and even more going through. And what I wanted to talk today about, I thought about doing one of those New Year's resolutions videos, but I'm not really into New Year's resolutions myself, to be honest. So I didn't think it would be a very good idea for me to do that. I would want to talk more about, what my goals are and what I see happening in 2020 for my YouTube channel, and also for my LinkedIn and for my Facebook and my podcast. And I think it's going to be really exciting, and I hope that you're all going to enjoy it. And please let me know what you think about this content, and what you would like to see if there's anything more specific. But what we're going to be doing, at least to starting off in January, is we're going to be doubling down a lot on the sort of small business development, business growth part of the content that I've been doing. And the way that I want to actually do that and supplement it and make it hopefully a lot more interesting for you all is I'm going to start interviewing more local business owners around where I live. So I've got a few people already lined up, some small businesses, and I think those are going to be really interesting because knowing the three of them, I know some really interesting stories are going to come out of that. So those are going to be very, very interesting. What that does mean is that will be longer form. What we will do is we will put the longer form videos and audio into the podcast, and then we'll chop that up, and then we'll bring smaller snippets and anything that's interesting more into the social media feeds, such as LinkedIn and Facebook, and those will also be available on YouTube. So I'm hoping that we're going for that longer format with those people, because I think you need a little bit more time for them to be able to tell their story properly, and I think it's also easier to consume longer form content when it's not just one person talking into a camera like I am now. That will give us a lot more content to work with and a lot more interesting things to talk about and converse upon and everything. And one of the things that I reflected on last night and today is something that Russell Brunson said that he heard from Tony Robbins some while back. And if you don't know who those guys are, just Google them, and you'll find out they're both really interesting guys, and they produce some really good content that I can highly recommend to quite a lot of people. And Tony Robbins said, most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year, but they underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. And I think that at the beginning of the new year, as we are now, and also at the beginning of a new decade as well, because, it's 2020 and looking forward all the way to 2030, I think that that's something that we should all bear in mind when we set our goals and our ambitions for what we want to achieve in 2020. It's okay to have really high ambitions on the year, but I think it's also important to be realistic about what the effort is required and what needs to go right in order for you to achieve what it is that you want in that year. And when you take into account all those small things and all those things that need to develop to help you, then you're probably not going to be achieving what you want in the actual year. You may need some other time in order to be able to achieve that. And that's okay. I think if we plan our sort of, our legacy and the things that we want to happen over a longer time frame, say 10 years, and we look to what we feel life should be like in 10 years' time, suddenly we know that each year as we lead up to that, we only need to make baby steps. If we want to flip things completely around and make some sort of revolutionary changes in less than a year, it's going to be difficult. And I can reflect on this in my weight loss journey as well that I went through last year. I lost a lot of weight, and it feels really good, and I want to continue. But I also did it very slowly and did it methodically, and by being very disciplined. And that took a lot of work, a little bit of what I've also undone a little bit in December, enjoying going out for my birthday and Christmas and a bit of Thanksgiving as well at the end of November. But we're back on the wagon, and now we're going to be, sticking to the plan and keeping everything in line, counting calories, nutrition, and everything like that. But and that applies to your business as well, and that should apply to anything that you're thinking about doing as an individual or trying to achieve. If you wanted to start a vlog, if you want to start a podcast, I think that's great. I started with trying to do them every day, and I did, but I didn't find the quality was very good. So then I've sort of dropped down to having a schedule and doing them piece by piece. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting back onto that schedule, but we may be a lot more flexible with it. I'll see how things go. But we're going to be very clear about what content we produce is right for which audience, so that it's obvious when you come into the channel and you come into the videos what it is that's targeted for you and what you should be interested in. I still want to spend most of my time talking about the business side, and I want to particularly focus on what I think the advantages of using social media and branding on social media towards the marketing area, and therefore secondarily the sales area. But that's going to form the bulk of the content, and I think that that's still going to be the thing that's most interesting for you guys. So I hope that you've enjoyed this little update and a little flavour for what I'm expecting to get started with in 2020. Give me a comment and let me know what your plans are for 2020, what you think of this content plan. And please give us a like and share this with your friends if you think it's useful. If you're listening to the podcast, I hope you're enjoying the audio, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow.